Imagine you are in a treasure hunting video game, sailing across a vast ocean and feeling a little thirsty. Luckily, there's a great bar run by a shark man that does all kinds of drinks and food for your nourishment. My name is Lily, I am an artist, and today I will be designing food that would fit in a video game world with an ocean theme. To start with, we need to set the scene. A deserted island in the middle of the ocean, home to a variety of unique quality ingredients. I'm imagining a small but lush patch of land with a mixture of deep and shallow reefs, rock pools, trees, and crops. It's filled to the brim with strange creatures, sea plants, and fruit, all taken care of by the bartender for his sandbar enterprise. Swashbuckle is the resident mixologist, the daredevil of drink mixing, or at least that's how he describes himself. He's made it his mission to find and grow the best, most interesting ingredients for his drinks and cuisine. All of which are served from his small but well-stocked bar that he built from the ground up over the years. So what kind of drinks are on his menu? Here are a few available today. First is the Starfish Sour, which cures seasickness and the effects last about half a day. It's also very delicious, so I hear. Next is Shell Shots, a one small sip experience with randomized but powerful effects. Then there's also Swashbuckle's Reef Blend Coffee, which stops stamina depleting for a bit of time. It can also be served hot or iced. And then lastly is the Void Drink, which gives you better vision underwater for longer. Since your job involves hunting for treasure troves deep down in underwater temples filled with dangerous enemies and traps, these drinks are not only refreshing, but helpful tools in securing these treasures. It for sure gives you a needed advantage over your competition who are slightly ahead of the game, but none of them have discovered Swashbuckle as of yet. He comments how the majority of customers are fishing boats, a few cruise ships, and patrol officers who are your enemies rather than competition, so that's a bit awkward. Technically, treasure hunting is illegal in these waters, so you have to avoid being hunted down and arrested. Swashbuckle's a cool guy though, and won't rat you out as long as you don't make it his problem, and spend lots of your earnings at the bar. As well as drinks, Swashbuckle is something of a chef. He'll have a rotating menu of food for you to choose from. A few of the dishes on the menu are seaweed crepes and seaweed wraps, which both raise standard health. Then there's Swashbuckle's Special, which is whatever Swashbuckle makes that day from any ingredients, therefore the effects will vary. There's also crab cakes, which raises defense stats, Riptide Ribs, which raises health and doesn't deplete it as easy, and then lastly there's Jellyfish Eggs, which make you float and move like a jellyfish in the air. It can be served boiled, poached, fried, however you like them. This last one is particularly handy as these water temples have lots of sections and air pockets with pesky gravity. This floating effect helps you jump up platforms efficiently rather than struggling for ages finding places to slowly climb. Remember, you'll sometimes have competition in these temples to race against, so time is of the essence. This bar is quite a hefty enterprise to keep afloat all by himself. There's different stations set up all around the island with various processes. Think of it like a Stardew Valley farm with automated collectors, preserve jars, fish ponds, etc., and Swashbuckle keeps all this running. One of the most important stations is the Ice Maker. If there's no ice, there's no cold drinks, and lukewarm won't cut it. Swashbuckle found a creature which lurks in one of the deeper reefs where it's cooler. A floating anemone which can freeze anything that comes near it. Swashbuckle befriended one by feeding it jellyfish eggs from a safe distance and built it a comfortable station to produce ice. Another of the most important stations is the Seagrass Meadow. Swashbuckle calls it the sweet spot since it contains sea sap, a sugary substance required for all the drink mixes. A few other important ingredients are squid ink, which is an edible ink used in the Void Drink, fruits, so there's unique fruits fermented and processed into different liquids and syrups. They can also be used for sugar, but sea sap is superior. Then there's all the creatures, such as the species of big fish which are present in these reefs, that Swashbuckle uses for the Riptide Ribs, and also catches crabs for the crab cakes, as well as jellyfish for the jellyfish eggs. As advertised, Swashbuckle is a daredevil in mixology. He advertises a special order side enterprise and will mix any ingredients together if you bring them to him. An extra fee is required. You can create a variety of unique drinks with increased potent effects this way. For example, on one of your treasure hunts, you picked up a rare type of anglerfish. These fish have a little light orb which dangles in front of the face, attracting all kinds of critters. With a few extra ingredients and careful preparation, Swashbuckle can concoct a drink where, when consumed, makes you glow and attract all kinds of other critters, some extraordinary and valuable. The only catch is that you need to have at least one of these rare fish already, so its essence can be mixed with the angler's alluring light, which will be the method of which these other creatures get reeled in by. Swashbuckle will make these special orders anytime you like, as long as you have the ingredients. Just be warned that there can be consequences if the mix turns out bad. This whole thing is also another reason why he won't snitch on you to the patrol officers. These underwater temples are said to host a huge selection of long-forgotten, unique ingredients. Swashbuckle has the bar to run and a reputation to maintain, so he can't go swimming to these temples. But he'd be happy to compensate you for bringing back a healthy supply of ingredients. You might be wondering how Swashbuckle got into this trade and why he's so interested in collecting every possible ingredient. Well, he wasn't a bartender in the past. He wasn't even a shark in the past. Swashbuckle used to be a human captain, a pretty popular one. When you ask him how he ended up on the island, he said the events of that fateful night were hazy, but he remembers a lot of partying and questionable drinks. He's pretty sure one of those drinks was a potion that turns you into a shark. That sounds like a pretty logical guess, but why was that even a drink option? Anyway, he was rudely abandoned on the island by his own crew, which elected a new captain who wasn't a shark. If you deepen your friendship with Swashbuckle enough, you can get a special side quest called Swashbuckle's Revenge. It involves you tracking down his old ship, stealing all their good loot, and then sinking it. If Swashbuckle can't have the ship, no one can. Uncertain if this is a healthy way to move forward, but it makes Swashbuckle happy, and he'll permanently discount drinks as a reward. And he's not interested in having the ship back. All he's focused on now is his new business. Ever since he was left on a strange island, Swashbuckle's been mixing all kinds of drinks not only to sell, but to find the one that can turn him human again. So far, not much luck, but he has managed to make a semi-reputable business out of it, so a win's a win. As any creature in these types of crafts, Swashbuckle is always looking for feedback, so feel free to share what you liked about his enterprise, or if there's any suggestions to take into future consideration. He takes criticism really well. He promises that despite his looks, he doesn't bite.